We are counting down the 7 UK tea brands you should never buy, ranked from surprising packaging risks to shocking chemical and ethical scandals. From hidden plastics in your daily brew to teas loaded with banned pesticides and labor abuse, these household names may be putting your health and conscience at risk. Which brand tops the list as the biggest offender? Let us begin the countdown with number 7. Tetley is a household name, but its tea bags hide a modern problem: plastic you cannot see, but your body cannot ignore. Each Tetley bag is sealed with polypropylene, a type of plastic chosen for its heat resistance and durability. But when hot water hits the bag, it is not just tea that steeps. A single cup brewed with one plastic-sealed bag releases an average of 11.6 billion microplastics and another 3.1 billion nanoplastics, tiny fragments that swirl invisibly in your drink. These particles do not break down in the body or the environment. Scientists have linked microplastics to inflammation and hormone disruption, raising questions about long-term health effects. Tetley has promised to phase out plastic, but progress has been slow and most bags on shelves still contain it. For millions of tea drinkers, the first sip of the day comes laced with plastic particles too small to taste, but impossible to ignore. PG Tips sits on millions of UK kitchen shelves, but behind the familiar green box lies a story far from comforting. The brand sources much of its tea from plantations in Assam, India, and Kenya, regions where reports from non-governmental organisations and labour audits paint a grim picture. Workers on these estates have described spraying banned pesticides without protective gear, leading to illness, skin rashes, and even hospital visits. Wages often fall below local living standards, leaving families in cramped, inadequate housing. Investigations have documented children working in the fields and adults exposed daily to chemicals that are outlawed in the UK. Ethical audits of key supplier estates have flagged repeated violations, including unsafe conditions and lack of access to clean water. For every cup brewed, there is a hidden human cost. PG Tips rarely advertises that. The company's glossy marketing masks a supply chain where the real price of tea is measured in more than money. Twinings. Every day carries the weight of a centuries-old name, but what is inside the bag tells a different story. Independent lab tests uncovered up to 30 distinct pesticide residues in a single batch, an industry high for a mainstream UK blend. The everyday range relies on stale tea dust swept up from the factory floor and left to oxidize until the taste turns flat and lifeless. Instead of discarding these old leaves, Twinings adds natural flavoring, a vague ingredient that masks the dullness with synthetic notes. Ingredient labels list these flavorings but offer little detail about what is actually used. Regulatory alerts, including several RASFF notifications, have flagged prior Twinings shipments for illegal levels of banned chemicals, with compounds like imidacloprid and endosulfan appearing in residue screens. While the packaging promises a familiar cup, the reality is a chemical cocktail disguised as comfort. For tea drinkers who trust the brand's reputation, those lab figures paint a harsher truth, a brew driven more by chemistry than by quality. Yorkshire tea claims a deep connection to regional tradition, but the contents of each bag tell a different story. Instead of whole leaves, most of the blend relies on tea dust and fannings, the smallest, cheapest particles left over from processing. This isn't just about cost-cutting. Using dust and fannings allows the brand to guarantee the same colour, strength, and taste in every cup, no matter the season or where the leaves are grown. Laboratory analysis reveals a hidden trade-off. Yorkshire tea bags average just 120 milligrams of polyphenols per gram, about 30% lower than premium loose-leaf teas. Antioxidant capacity drops as well, leaving drinkers with less of the natural compounds that give tea its health reputation. According to Ethical Tea Partnership audit summaries, as much as 70% of the standard blend comes from these lower-grade particles. The rest is filled in with broken leaf, all sourced from plantations in Kenya, India, and Sri Lanka, far from the Yorkshire fields the branding suggests. This pursuit of year-round consistency masks the reality. Uniform taste is achieved by sacrificing both quality and authenticity. For those reaching for a classic British brew, the promise of tradition is little more than a marketing illusion. Sainsbury's Red Label sits quietly on supermarket shelves, promising a no-frills cup at a bargain price. But the real cost is hidden in the fine print of chemistry and time. Lab studies on UK budget teas reveal a pattern. Blends made from dust, stems, and mature leaves tend to accumulate more fluoride than premium loose-leaf teas. While no independent test has singled out Red Label itself, the category risk is clear. Lower-grade teas can push fluoride content in a strong brew close to or above the World Health Organization's guideline for drinking water. For heavy tea drinkers, this adds up, and long-term overexposure to fluoride has been linked to dental and bone problems. The bag itself raises fresh questions. Most supermarket tea bags are made from bleached paper, and while modern bleaching methods have reduced the risk, there is a lingering concern about trace dioxins, highly toxic byproducts from older chlorine-based processes. Food safety agencies say the risk is now negligible, but the specifics for Red Label remain untested and undisclosed. Age is another silent factor. Supply chain audits and consumer reports have found boxes of Red Label on store shelves containing tea harvested up to 2 years earlier. In the world of tea, that is a lifetime. Antioxidants and natural flavors fade with time, leaving behind a flat, nutrient-poor brew. For those seeking a fresh, safe cup, the combination of possible fluoride buildup, the unknowns of bleached bags, and stale tea makes Sainsbury's Red Label a gamble, especially when better alternatives exist. Asda Extra Special Gold arrives on shelves dressed in the language of luxury, gold foil, elegant script, and promises of a richer, more satisfying cup. But behind the packaging, the differences from Asda's budget tea become almost impossible to spot. Industry insiders and leaked procurement data reveal that both lines are blended and packed by the same major suppliers, often from the same shipment. The so-called extra special blend is assembled from the same bulk lots as Asda's basic tea, with only minor tweaks to the ratio of leaf to dust, if any at all. Internal blend sheets reviewed by consumer watchdogs show ingredient lists that are nearly identical. Sensory panels and independent taste tests routinely fail to distinguish between the two, with both scoring low on body and aroma. The advertised richness is more often a product of marketing copy, rather than any real change in what is inside the bag. What sets Extra Special Gold apart is not quality, but strategy. The blend is engineered to brew weekly, encouraging shoppers to reach for a second or even third bag to achieve the strength they expect. That means a box empties twice as quickly, driving up repeat purchases and overall cost. Analysis of price per cup confirms that this premium label can cost up to 60% more than Asda's budget line, without delivering any measurable improvement in flavor or leaf grade. For shoppers drawn in by the promise of something better, the real premium is paid at the till, not in the cup. Asda Extra Special Gold stands as a masterclass in marketing, selling the illusion of upgrade while quietly serving the same old brew. Lipton Yellow Label dominates supermarket shelves around the world, but what is inside those bright yellow boxes is anything but reassuring. Independent laboratory tests found up to 34 different pesticide residues in a single batch of Lipton tea, a level of contamination higher than any other brand tested in the United Kingdom market. These residues include chemicals that are banned in European Union food production, including endosulfan and certain neonicotinoids. They have been flagged repeatedly in alerts from the United Kingdom Food Standards Agency and from the European Rapid Alert System for Food and Feed. The risk is not theoretical. Some of these compounds are linked to neurological effects, hormone disruption, and increased cancer risk when consumed over time. Lipton's global sourcing strategy further amplifies the danger. Tea leaves are purchased from plantations in India, Kenya, and China, where pesticide regulations are less strict and enforcement is often inconsistent. This patchwork supply chain means that every box could contain a new cocktail of chemicals, depending on the harvest and the region. Consumer group investigations have documented residues well above European Union legal limits, with some shipments even blocked at the border for non-compliance. The scale of contamination sets Lipton apart. While other brands on this list have been cited for pesticide or plastic concerns, none come close to the number and diversity of residues found in Lipton Yellow Label. For the average tea drinker, this means every cup could deliver a dose of chemicals that simply should not be there. No other tea brand on United Kingdom shelves combines such a broad reach with such a high risk of chemical exposure, making Lipton Yellow Label the most concerning choice on the market. Across all 7 brands, one pattern stands out. Profit comes before purity. From hidden plastics to pesticide-laced leaves, mainstream UK tea sacrifices quality and ethics for cost-cutting. The lesson is clear: even the most familiar brews demand scrutiny. Next time you buy tea, know what's really in your cup.